to let me start writing about his life. I have been a frequent customer of the diner, harking back to the day when it was Monica's. I've always been fascinated by people's backstories. You know, the stories that sometimes we want to tell about ourselves, but are often reluctant to share. The stories that we hope might lend some encouragement to others who've had similar experiences. Or perhaps we just don't want our life stories to evaporate into thin air after we pass. Jake and I started this project 2 years ago, and I thought it would be finished within 6 months. And then life happened. COVID hit, and we were all scrambling to get into our caves and stay put. Jake has been ever patient with my long-time extension. Most of the writing has occurred at the diner, and special thanks to his fiancée, Nikki, along with all the regulars at the diner. So the subject is forgiveness. I struggle with this topic, so I wanted to get Jake's take on the subject. Like so many restaurant owners, Jake takes on the role of a therapist when needed while simultaneously keeping an eye on the mood in the diner. There are some days when being a therapist seems to be needed more than flipping pancakes. Since it is a rather big and all-encompassing topic, I've already decided I'm going to have a big breakfast to go with this. I marvel how comfortable the diner atmosphere is, even when every chair and stool is filled. There is little pretension here. There's nothing fancy, just an air of being yourself and comfortability. Before I had a chance to delve into this, Jake glanced over to see a customer at the counter who had apparently used up all of the butter for his pancakes. Jake didn't hesitate with his observation. Need another side of butter? How Jake can decipher all that is going on in the diner and what a customer may need to ensure that he has had a fabulous experience is beyond me. I marvel at his timing. He doesn't hover over the customer as he has so many other tasks to perform, but he sure as hell has his eyes on any sign of discomfort or fidgeting of a customer. I know myself when I sit down to eat, I don't want to keep asking the waitstaff to bring me some syrup if I'm having pancakes. I want all the pieces to be right in front of me. And if I'm having coffee, I don't want to hoist my empty cup in the air to signal that I need a refill. I want to be waited on. And after all, that's one of the perks of going out to dine. And I want the waitstaff to be attentive without being annoying. And Jake's partner, Nikki, is superb. She has the gift of being a mind reader when it comes to refills, along with explaining the menu. And when I'm hemming and hawing about what to order, she offers some suggestions based on my past orders. This strategy comes in handy especially when I'm tired or a tad discombobulated. Jake takes pride in being able to juggle many competing priorities. It helps that he's quick on his feet. His mobility to get to one end of the diner in a flash, I think, might be tied to his boxing days. I'll have to ask him if there is a connection. And Jake, in between keeping an eye on the diner, sucked in his breath before he shared what his thoughts were on forgiveness. Yeah, accepting somebody's faults and hoping they can do better. I'll give you a break. There's something about forgiving people that's important. I have forgiven a lot of people. Live and forgive. Do I have to forgive? I don't think it's a requirement to forgive. And I ask, are there any situations where you have wanted to forgive someone, but you just couldn't? Oh yeah, I've had that experience. There have been many times when someone has been really wicked to me. And he explains a delicate situation where he was falsely accused of something, and the repercussions to him were not only harmful, but tragic. At moments, there is a silence between us, but I can feel his pain. And the pain just sits there on the table like a big, smoldering and hissing rock. And the remembrance is raw, and I curse myself for placing him in a position where he is reliving some really bad stuff. I roll over in my own mind, my own situations that have caused me such sadness and anger, and I fumble over what to say next, but I retrieve something and turn to face Jake. Do you think it would be fair to say that wickedness never deserves forgiveness? I see that Jake can buy into this, even if he doesn't erase any injustice that has happened. And I overhear someone at the counter who interrupts both our trains of thought. I'll take grits, eggs over using dry toast. Can you tell me about the fish? There's a certain kind of fish I won't eat. Is it? And I'm grateful that the voices of the diner have overtaken our awkward conversation about forgiveness. The everyday beat of hungry patrons has intercepted a delicate conversation. And Jake puts his head down in his hands, but maybe for an interlude of 3 seconds, and then turns to me and asks, Linda, how about some more coffee? It's Jake's polite way of saying he has other matters to attend to, while ensuring that I have all my caffeine fixed for the day. And the discussion of forgiveness will most likely be continued, but for today, it is enough.